Theater of the Mind is a D&D 5e dark horror comedy podcast. Listener discretion is advised. There is a content warning in the podcast description.
Welcome to Theater of the Mind, episode number 20. I'm Mike, I'm your Dungeon Master, and tonight's question from the Ultimate RPG Campfire card deck by James D'Amato is, what is something that you feel has become your responsibility within your group? Do you appreciate or resent that responsibility?
My name's Amanda, and I'm playing Mel Kelly. Mel absolutely feels responsible for taking care of Jacob. I don't think she's very good at it, but she feels responsible for it. And she's not resentful, mostly because she never had a younger sibling. So this is kind of like her first experience with a younger sibling, and I think she kind of thinks of him as like a little brother type. And I don't know. It's awakening some latent maternal instincts or something, but she's good with it.
My name's Jeremy. I'm playing Elliot Brandybane. And Elliot Brandybane feels that his responsibility is keep the group from dying and not doing something incredibly stupid. But he's okay with that because he was used to, when he was in the military, that was kind of his job then too, was keeping dumb young kids from doing stupid things.
God, that's a hard job.
He's okay with that.
It's a really hard job with this group.
If somebody else wants to take over the position, he's welcome. He's willing to give it up.
I don't think any of us are qualified.
We're going to be dead in the next encounter.
I am Brunel. I'm playing Ulnok Vaga Johnson. And Ulnok feels a heavy responsibility to protect everyone in this group, even at the cost of his own life. Which explains why he's kind of a bullet sponge for everything that attacks, always. He runs into the fray of battle and has to try to keep everyone else from getting hurt. Not always successful, but that is the goal. Does he resent this? Absolutely not. Since the incident, he feels responsible for protecting anyone that he is in close proximity with at all times.
That's unhealthy. I just want to put that out there. That's unhealthy.
Ulnok's not exactly the epitome of mental health.
With that said, under the circumstances, we're still appreciative.
Yes.
Very much.
I'm still going to hide
We're not
behind
condoning
you,
it,
but it's also not healthy.
I'm grateful and sorry you've chosen this path.
Exactly.
I'm Downs. I'm playing James O'Brien, and James, being the only good cook in the group, he's taken over food supply and cooking for the party. Not as grandiose or important sounding as protecting the party at all costs, but it's still important to eat.
Yes. We can't deny that.
Everybody needs a quartermaster.
Love me some breakfast, you know what I mean?
Yes, and if Mel doesn't get her coffee, she turns into a raging lunatic.
And she already has a blackened soul, so.
Yep. Just like her coffee.
Does she like her coffee like she has her soul?
I think Mel likes her coffee black and sweet.
Close.
I
So
detest
almost black.
sweet coffee, but I think Mel likes it black and sweet.
And
It's the worst way to drink it.
Isn't it? Ugh.
and James, the person who he cooks to de-stress, so he definitely does not resent gaining the job of quartermaster, essentially.
I'm Casey. I play Emery Lee, and Emery's kind of taken over the armory a little bit, but I also think that she's kind of been the moral compass a little bit. She tries to be a good person, and she's trying to make sure this group is doing good as much as possible. I don't think it would occur to her to resent that. It's just how she is.
Definitely the armory, because you're a walking pyrotechnic, apparently.
Well, it's also because I have the blacksmithing. I take care of silvering the weapons
It has
and that kind
nothing
of stuff.
to do with
But that was
magical
less of
hiccups.
an interesting answer to me.
Miss Fix It.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and roll for recap. We'll go closest to 10.
12.
13.
7?
19.
16.
That's me.
Unless you were doing the Price is Right style.
Yeah, nope.
Okay.
All right.
Would negate half the day.
So last episode, we started out, we had just met back up with the two of our party who had been lost on the wrong side of a rockfall in the mine. So we just run back into James and Emery when we came across some giant spiders. I mean, they were the size of dogs, which is not okay.
Giant for spiders, not giant in general.
Giant for spiders. Unacceptably large spiders. Ulnok is arachnophobic, and so is Mel, so this was a riot. We also came across a spider centaur creature. For those of you who've played D&D, that would be known as a drider. For as far as our characters are concerned, it was a spider centaur.
There's a freak in nature.
Yeah, no. So with two arachnophobes in the party, you would think that these spiders would be the most memorable part about this episode. But it was, in fact, when Emery had a rather excessive wild magic surge and had something akin to the magical hiccups.
Complete magical meltdown.
There was a little rave going. She was glowing. There were butterflies and rainbows.
And lightning bolts. Don't forget the lightning bolts.
And fog clouds.
Friendly fire.
And friendly fire. There were
there.
4. Like, it was a show. But eventually, after...
and one that almost killed Ulnok.
yes. After a rather... seemingly endless number of rounds. That too did pass, and we collected ourselves some various useful bits of things off of the drider and some silver ore, and we exited the mine.
And we got the lapis lazuli.
Yes, we have the lapis lazuli.
And I have a longbow now.
And Ulnok has a longbow, and James has a cuirass.
Oh, that's how you say that?
That's how you say that.
That's how you. Oh.
I literally thought it was cuirass.
I've never read it.
There's some things I know how to say. Don't talk to me about not brassiers. No.
Bustiers.
No. The things you warm your hands over.
Braziers.
Braziers.
Not braziers.
Like I said,
Don't talk to you about those.
Don't talk to me about braziers.
Let me just warm my hand on the brazier.
That's exactly what I said when I was
Extremely
playing
inappropriate.
Skyrim one day.
Extremely
Oh, look, it's a
inappropriate,
room
takes a
full of
bit longer.
braziers.
Comes at risk of slapping.
Anyway.
Sorry, man, my hands are cool.
That's usually why you get slapped. I'm sure those hands are warm.
Anyway, so that was last episode. And apparently we got a long rest, but it only took as long as a short rest because of our magical glade thingy.
Yar.
And the beautiful woman.
And the beautiful woman. How's Jacob, by the way? Is Jacob good?
He might be taller.
Did he stay out of trouble? He's a growing boy. Of course he's taller. Oh, yeah, Emery's taller now, too,
Yes.
apparently.
Yeah. Because she's a growing gal.
Permanently.
If a weird change to your character is going to occur, apparently it will.
Yeah.
To Emery.
Yeah.
So we've got a white stripe and 4 more inches.
He's
Boy,
a
talk
fish.
about character development, huh?
I know.
Quite brute force, yeah.
I also just realized my character is not proficient with. Oh, he's proficient with longsword, but he does not have the strength to use the stick properly. Because I have the Drider longsword, and I only have a +2.
Maybe you guys ought to swap the rapier and longsword.
I kind of like my rapier.
I'm just throwing it out there. You guys can fight over your own pointy objects in your own time.
Yeah, we can ask the weaponsmith at some point to see if we can get. Yeah, I'll turn this longsword into a rapier, because that won't do anything to
A
the.
rapier
God.
would take forever. A short sword would not take as long.
No.
I just got to break it a little bit and then sharpen it.
Yeah, just basically
Right,
make
yeah.
it two-handed gladius.
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna work on the longsword.
Which would be dope.
That would be pretty cool.
Two-handed gladius. All right, so you guys have gotten out of the hole. You have immediately laid down and taken a nap. And you are up. You see that Jacob is still chilling with the horsies. You were down there for maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours. It wasn't a crazy huge mine.
Kind of felt like we were down there forever.
At least a month.
And you see the Eladrin and the other eclectic Fey folk are chilling over at a new spring in a different part of the glen. They have just shifted their hangout spot. And the Eladrin's kind of looking over in your direction a little bit expectantly.
All right. Now that we're rested up, we should probably go hand this thing over, huh?
Yeah.
Do we all have werewolf questions on our brains? Ready to talk about that kind of stuff?
Yeah, how do we fix it? Is there anything else that we need other than how do we fix it?
How do we fix it? We would like
we
him
can't
to
fix it, how do
stop
we
being
kill
a
me?
werewolf while
No.
still
Well, it's
being
not that hard to
alive.
kill you. We figured that out with
That's
Emery.
true. I guess you guys do know how to do that.
We'll just put you in a room with an uncocked Emery and
Yeah.
May the best man
damage
win,
you to
right?
death
Like-
again.
Yeah, we'll just scare her into getting hiccups and it'll work.
Listen, I made you large. I can make you small too.
I'd be a baby werewolf.
Oh, that would be so
I'd be
cute.
adorable.
A were chihuahua.
No, even better, you make him like pocket size, and when he turns, you just pick him up by the scruff of the neck and go, now Ulnok, that's no way to behave, and then drop him in your
I was
bag.
like freaking out, like clawing and snapping.
I just thought of a surprise attack. We can miniaturize Ulnok, put him in a pocket, then, like whenever combat
just
happens.
throw me in-
Yeah, surprise! Pocket Ulnok.
Lunch and
Just go
concentration.
nibble on the neck.
Pocket wolf.
All right.
All right, grab this giant stone orb and start heading towards.
if I
the
remember
Eladrin.
correctly, it was named the bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, we had to crawl through a tiny little tunnel for this thing, and it sucked.
Got it. Yeah.
So the Eladrin perks up. She is more than happy to let you come to her. She's comfy. So she does sit up a little bit, turns her attention your way, and says, "Oh, you found it. Not gonna lie, it took a little longer to get through that than I thought it would for you very capable humans."
There were spiders.
Yeah, we weren't expecting the man spider.
Oh, yeah, Matt.
Yeah,
What is that, by the way?
And spider.
I'm gonna describe
giant
the
spider creature thing.
With the
Elf.
torso of a guy
A lot
with
of
like
swords.
purple
That'd
skin.
be a lot. A lot.
He did. That's
Just for a
true.
little bit, though. She looks concerned with this description.
yeah, was wearing this armor and was using this sword.
It was like taking him and putting him on a spider.
When you point out that you have its sword, she's, can I see that weapon? I will return it.
Sure.
She takes it in her palms and is very closely examining it. In the light now, you can see that there's actually fairly intricate engravings along the blade.
Huh.
Very, very fine work on both the pommel and the crossguard.
It's prettier in the light.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. It's gorgeous. It's dark. The metal itself is almost blackened. It's a very, very dark steel. And whatever engravings are in it are black, as if they were filled in with an ink. It's got a gorgeous dark charcoal gray leather wrap on the handle. And she's examining it quite closely and then hands it right back to you.
Dang.
I believe what you have encountered is known as a dryder.
A what now?
A dryder. They are horrible creatures formed by dark magics. I believe you have encountered other elves similar to, not dissimilar from myself.
Yeah.
The ones that you encountered, I believe, would be more reminiscent of, say, a wood elf.
Yeah, we've met the two-legged variety.
Yes. Well, the Dryder started as a two-legged varietal as well, known as the Drow.
Okay.
Drow are dark elves. They come from an area called the Underdark. It's a terrible place deep underground. Deep underground on my home world, though. It is concerning that is apparently happening here as well. But a Drider is a male drow that has been tortured by the females and transformed into a beast. They serve their creators. It's rare to find one so far from any other. I'm assuming you did not see anyone else in the. They would not have allowed you to have exited.
Nope, just a bunch of 8-legged freaks.
Well, no, I mean, the mine was full of little Tommy knockers.
Oh yeah, we said the Tommy knockers, but yeah,
The dog spiders?
No.
No, the little guys.
the little
The
green
little,
dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Little magic miners.
the little
Yeah.
magic miners that I called leprechauns, and then
Yeah,
everybody else.
There were
incredibly
leprechauns
insulting.
down there?
No.
No.
Oh, thank God.
No, there's lore there's stories in our world of little guys that live in mines.
They can
That-
sometimes be
Dwarves?
mischievous.
No,
Littler.
Smaller than.
No.
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 They're more like spirits.
Halfling?
They're more like spirits.
Anyway,
Kind of.
apparently those are real now, too.
A what now? Yeah, Gesundheit?
Yeah.
Bless you.
Snarf what? Yeah.
Nerfeeblin.
Snarfeeblin.
I was not
Feeble snarfs?
You
I'm
should
going to give you
have
a round
that.
of applause. That was pretty good pronunciation.
Very weird word.
You should have that sneeze looked at, ma'am.
Hay fever.
They are other beings from the Underdark, the deep gnome.
I don't think so.
I
think
these
they're
are just
from our
spirits. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not sure about the little fellers you said you saw down there, but
They were helpful. They helped us find this, and I kind of heft the lapis.
she palms it out of your hand.
Oh, thank you.
One hands it. Yes, this will add to my collection quite nicely. She sets it down next to her.
All of us are looking at her a little bit starry-eyed at this point. Like,
Whoa.
whoa.
Oh, and speaking of starry-eyed, Elliot, you still need to make a
Oh, right.
charisma check.
Charisma or
Save.
wisdom?
Charisma.
Charisma?
Wow, she's beautiful and buff. I like her even more now.
Uppies?
He fails again.
Okay. Same.
I just figured he was smitten as soon as he saw her. I didn't even expect to roll.
And so, well, it would appear at great expense. Apparently, I am concerned that Driders are there. Is there any evidence of where it may have come from? It definitely did not come from this side. They don't tend to go into the light.
We explored pretty much all of the accessible areas of the mine. It
There
didn't.
was a really deep cleft as if the ground had split, and there was evidence that something had climbed out of that cleft. I bet it was that Drider.
Huh.
We didn't see anything like that on our side.
Yeah, it was
No.
over in the tunnels while we were trying to meet up with you guys. We came up across it.
It may be in our best interest then for me to just close this mine off entirely.
That might be for the best.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, be gentle.
Careful. There's
Be
kind of
gentle.
towards the entrance, there's a box of stuff that we call dynamite.
It will
Um,
explode.
It can explode.
I think there was multiple boxes of that.
Yeah.
Well, that could make this quite exciting.
Oh,
I appreciate the warning.
Yeah. So, like, anything can set it off, like dropped rocks or things. So, I don't know how you plan on sealing it.
Fantastic.
Pardon me.
Fantastic. That's
Oh, okay.
great news.
Just wanted you to know that if you start throwing rocks in the mine, it could set that off.
She stares over at the satyr. No.
What's going on with Goat Guy over there?
He quite enjoys pressing his luck.
Ah, little mischievous creature there, huh?
Yes. Well, I appreciate the accomplishment that you have undertaken. So now I believe it is my turn to uphold my end of the deal here.
Please.
So, per our deal, I can offer this information. She turns specifically to Ulnok. You are not sick,
Okay.
young warrior. You are cursed.
Hmm.
Because of this, no amount of medicine can help you. You need to seek out those who can remove curses. In most realms of existence, those who are best at removing curses are the holy priests and priestesses.
Okay.
I am aware of a convent, but maybe 2 days' ride from here.
Okay.
It's pretty deep into the mountains. It is not in any town nearby. She points off to the northeast.
Okay.
And you guys have already headed north from I-70, so this is driving you into the mountain country.
Mm-hmm.
They are probably your best hope of finding someone who can fix what ails you in time.
In time. Do you know how much longer we have?
You have until the full moon, which I think last session I said was 4 or 5 days away.
Oh, goodness. We don't have a lot of time.
So we got to get moving.
If by chance we run out of time, sidetrack doing, like something happens, we're not able to get the thing removed, is there a way to lessen it, or is there a way to best way to stop him from doing crazy nonsense?
There is no stopping the transformation without removing the curse.
We can't just conk him over the head, knock him out till the
No.
next day.
The beast is separate from Ulnok's consciousness.
Oh, you're a Hulk.
No,
Not quite.
he's a large lad, but he's still living. I don't believe he is a zombie Hulk. He appears to still be a person.
My bad. Made a our world reference.
But what I can say is not all curses are necessarily the end of the line. If you fight it and keep your mind about you, most of the time you will be yourself. You'll turn on the full moon and you are the beast.
Okay.
Those who are closest to you, quite literally, will be in danger. When you are the beast, you will not be in control. The rest of the time you will be, if you fight the curse.
Okay.
If you succumb to the curse, you are the beast. You can turn at will, but you will not be you.
You become Griff.
Okay.
And he wasn't pleasant to be around, so I don't recommend giving him
Yeah.
that beast.
Griff was creepy as hell.
Yeah, it was.
And we do have a small child in our midst, and I would not.
Yeah, that is not Fingerfoot.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It'd be more of a snack anyway.
Ew.
You're not helping your case here, buddy.
I'm just saying worst case scenario. I don't want to hurt Jacob.
If you have a map, I can show you where precisely this convent is. But if not, heading northeast from my glen, about a half day's ride, you will come across a well-worn trail that will lead you to them.
Do we have a map?
I don't know if we have a map or not.
Did we
I don't
take a
think
map?
I don't think we have one.
But
We should
if
maybe pick up a hiking map somewhere.
I thought we may have pulled some.
he had maps. I don't think you said you took them.
No, we didn't say we took them. So that's on us.
Well, ma'am, if you can describe in as much detail as you have the trip there, I should be able to mostly get us there.
About a half day's ride, you will come across a well-worn but dirt road. It would not be one that is forged by your machines, but one that is worn into the ground by your tread.
Gotcha.
It will lead you deep into the mountains. You will follow a valley for another half day's travel, and then it will start leading you up a mountain.
Do you know which direction this valley? Does it go east, west, north, south? Do you know this?
The valley runs north-south.
Got it. So we'll come in at the south end and continue north.
Yes.
Thank you.
You will not clear the entire valley, but the path should guide you fairly well.
Okay.
The path go up the mountain pretty well.
I believe so, yes. I've not traveled all the way there personally. Some of this is what some of my friends have told me.
Okay.
Getting information from the birds and the deer is not always a straightforward task.
I can talk to the birds and the deer.
Hey, so if we get lost or need directions,
Excellent.
we can
Is
use
that
the
weird?
GPS
I'm
of the
sorry, you
forest.
look surprised.
It is not the most common, but there are some from my realm that have learned the languages of the animals.
See,
I don't
look
know
at
if I
that.
would
You
say
got a
I've
rare
learned
gift.
them, but I can zone out for a little bit and then I can talk to the animals.
Ah, interesting. So you two are touched by the magics.
Yes, sort of.
This is a particularly powerful small group you have here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Somehow.
refreshing to hear, actually, because I got my ass kicked down there again.
You're still
you did
upright.
great.
You faced
You
a
did
drider. There are many who have fallen to a drider's blade and become subjugated to the drow's slave markets.
Dude,
Oh.
look at it this way. The Drider didn't knock you out. Emery knocked you out, so it was friendly fire.
That's fair. That's fair. Emery went bananas down there. You should have seen it. It was crazy. She's
I
just
don't have-
sparking off like lights and butterflies, and
I
For some
I
reason,
don't
we all felt
have
sick.
full
It was weird.
control over my magic, it seems.
You are not of the draconic bloodline. You are of the... We called it the wild magic in my realm.
That was certainly wild.
It was
That's
that.
a good description.
It's like a rave.
Yes.
It was just magic spilling out of me that I couldn't do anything about.
Sorcerers of your kind have very rarely not been entertaining, at least.
Ooh, you're a sorcerer. We just need to get you one of those pointy hats.
I
or a staff.
don't want to wear a pointy hat.
What about a wand?
Yeah,
I-
what if
Oh,
we
a
got
wand. I thought you said a
That
blonde.
might look cool.
Hi.
Yeah, it's like wear Melanie. That'll work.
No. It's neither here nor there. I just. So after we travel up the valley, we climb the mountain, and then top of the mountain's where the Covenant
Yeah, I from what I gather, it's a fairly
Convent.
convent. Yes,
convent. Sure.
it's a fairly impressive structure in an area lacking impressive structures.
Okay.
It's large, made of stone.
They're saying we won't miss it.
Yes, they are trying to attract currently, so I would imagine the road may be even more clear than it was before.
Do you
Interesting.
know, or do
What
they
is-
have?
What does that mean, trying to attract?
They are always, most churches are seeking out new followers. I believe they are trying to expand their followership as well.
Is this like a our world church or like a your world
I was just about to ask that.
church?
It's
Is
a
it white?
church in your mountains. I know not. I am
Okay.
not particularly
Okay.
religious.
Is it white?
It is not white.
Okay.
What does that matter?
It is stone.
Do you know? Do you know
There may be
their
some
name,
White rocks.
or do you know their name, or do they
West
have a name?
Tyler.
They go by the name of the
Orph.
nuns of the mountains.
The nuns of the mountains. They're the Kniggets who say "Nyeh."
There are also I believe there is also a group, I guess, gaggle of monks.
Gaggle of monk.
Cloister.
Cloister. Sure, that sounds like a good word.
Let's go with that one. Yeah,
Gaggle.
it's a gaggle cloister.
There's a flock of monks in there.
I could see a gaggle of nuns, but maybe a gaggle of monks, not so much.
I'm sure they're definitely not a murder of monks.
And he said upon to them, gaggle.
They're, from what I gather, it's a fairly impressive structure containing within it a very large cathedral.
Is that white?
Okay.
It is not. It
Are
is
you
also
worried
stone.
about if the thing is white?
Okay. off, like out of character, am I looking for a white church? Did I remember that right? Okay, thank you.
This is not matching that description.
Okay,
Kind of.
cool. Thank you.
Yours is like, think small town white church.
Well, that's
This
what I
is,
was trying. That's what I remembered I was supposed to be looking for, but I started to get confused.
She's like, is it white? Is that one white?
Oh, is that a church? Is it white?
It occasionally, seasonally gets covered with white.
That's literally what I've been doing everywhere we've gone. But does it have a white church?
And that's why James is asking, what does it matter what color it is?
It just does. Trust me.
Is it a blue church?
No, I'm not looking for a blue one.
I apologize that I am not able to assist you further, but I have not partaken in the removal of curses. It is not my purview.
That's okay.
Does
We
any of your
appreciate
friends
any
have that?
information that you have had.
If my friends had that, I would not send you on a 2-day cross-country horse ride.
Fair.
Well, we appreciate any direction because we didn't have that before. So
I wonder if that would be magics that we could learn. That might be helpful. I mean, we
Could be helpful.
Like, you only run into a werewolf once in a blue moon.
Hopefully.
Once in a
full moon.
Wouldn't
Full,
you run
right.
into
It
a
would be
war?
twice in a
twice
blue
in a
moon,
blue moon.
technically.
Do you even know what a blue moon is?
Gotta be honest, no,
No.
I do not.
It's 2 full moons in a month.
Oh, that's going to be real fun for you. That's going to be a very active month.
So what's a new moon?
It's
a
one when
really
you
bad
can't
movie.
See it.
The opposite of a full.
It's when
good.
it's
Oh, see.
not a
Well,
movie.
we
man,
can
we-
have a celestial lesson on the horse ride.
Okay.
Is there anything else you think we need to know before we start on this trip? Because I feel good, and the horses, boy, they look sleek. Jacob,
Yes,
you
they
did a
have.
good job taking care of them. Thanks, buddy.
Did Jacob behave?
Jacob was a very fine young man. He very diligently partook in his duties of guarding and watching the horses.
Good
I
job.
Good boy.
believe he even brushed them down for a while.
They look.
They look for great.
All I can say is time is of the essence. At minimum, your best bet is to have him locked in a cage on the next full moon.
Okay.
Don't have one of those.
Oh, we gotta.
We better get to that church and build one then.
I say we get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you again, and thank you for letting us rest here. It
Hey.
has been really nice meeting you.
It was an absolute pleasure, and you might be my hero.
I appreciate that. Although it does appear as though you have someone else who wishes to keep close eye over you, with whom I would not interfere.
Me neither.
Eh.
But before we go, I have one last question. And Elliot will get down on one knee. Will you marry me?
Oh, young mortal, you cannot handle being wed to one of my kind.
James is going to try very hard not to burst into laughter.
Oh no,
He's gonna
Mel is rolling on the field laughing right now.
Elliot's gonna look pretty disappointed.
Yes.
Actually.
Believe me, for the sake of your life, that is not the best decision you could make.
That's all right, Elliot. You'll get the next one. Pat him, solidarity on the shoulder.
No, I don't think I will.
I think you're a bit young for me anyway.
How old are you?
So you don't ask a lady that.
Hey, what's the matter with you? Didn't your mother teach
What are you,
better?
like 92? I don't remember how old you are.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm 60, goddammit. I still whip your ass.
60,
walker this
90,
whole
I don't
time.
see what the difference is. Anyway, we gotta go fix my curse.
Okay,
Or I'm
let's
gonna
go.
wolf out and I'd
take
probably eat the kid. I don't want to eat Jacob. I
Don't
like
do
the
that.
kid. He's a
Let's
good kid.
go take
Could
care
you
of this.
stop bringing that up? You're
Why
going
is
to give
Mr.
him more.
Ulnok saying
I-
he's gonna eat at me?
He's
Don't-
not gonna
He's
eat you.
just
I fucking
teasing
might.
you.
Oh,
Language.
I reach up on my tiptoes and just smack him on the back of the head.
I just don't want the kid to be like surprised.
What
You know?
happened
Ulnok.
down I thought he liked me.
He
I do.
does.
Why are you gonna eat
He's
me?
not gonna eat you.
I got
And
bit by a spider.
you know
With
what?
some other
No,
stuff.
just no.
Hey,
Stop.
We
There
need
was
to
a
get.
lot of noise.
we
It was so loud while you were down
There's a lot of
it
stuff
was.
going on down there.
You did a great job with the horses, Jacob. I really appreciate it. And Charlie, he looks good. Guys, we need to get loaded up. We need to get down the road.
Yep.
Yeah.
James, you're not right. That's
All right, Bert.
Jacob,
you
you're
ready
not
to
riding
do
with
this,
Ulnok.
bud?
What?
I'm talking to Bert.
Bert. Okay. Yep.
The horse.
Yes.
Ah.
Nay.
Right, I gotta meditate for a little bit.
You can
Should I do that
on the
later
horse.
when we're at the fork or whatever?
You
Let
should do that on the horse.
yeah, do that on the horse. We gotta go.
You guys never really made camp. You just slept
Unloaded.
directly on the
Yeah.
grass.
Yeah,
We just
we got to
plop.
the sky and immediately passed out.
Yeah.
It's like fresh air.
I got to the top and just fell on my face.
Twice now, Elliot has immediately collapsed within her presence. First time she said, "You can lay down here," he fell down, fell asleep. And then immediately after coming out of the hole, you guys laid down and fell asleep. So we'll say it's like, because you traveled all night and then passed out, took a short rest,
Probably
which
like
was a long
early.
rest. And then you were about 2 hours in there, so it's like noonish.
God, our sleep schedule's fucked.
Dude, it's a nightmare.
We're on May 2nd now.
Yar.
Hey, look at that. It's May.
May 2.
Got it. Well, Elliot's
Right.
got to start
Well-
getting the horses ready to travel.
It might be May 1. It might still be May 1.
It might
actually.
be May 1.
'Cause I think it turned May 1 while you're on your way here.
It is May 1st because it was the last night of April when we got to
Okay,
Glen.
Perfect. So it is noon May 1, 2020 something.
2020X.
And yep, you guys get on the horses and you are vamoosing. Hey there, listener. I'm just going to interrupt this battle for a quick ad break. I wanted to take some time this episode and highlight a product that we've been using almost every episode. As you've heard, we start our episodes using the Ultimate RPG Campfire card deck written by James D'Amato, who is also the author of the Ultimate RPG series and the host of the One Shot podcast. While we use this card deck to help introduce a bit of backstory from these characters to you, this deck is a great fit for any TTRPG. There are 150 different question cards in this deck, sorted into several different categories to help you world build, character build, or just improv with your friends. We like this product so much that we aren't even being paid for this advertisement. This is just a genuine shout out to another creator in the TTRPG world. Thank you again for your continued support. We rely completely on word of mouth to help us spread, so our current following is because of all of you. If you do want to follow us on social media, you can find the link tree in our podcast description, as well as the Pinecast and Epidemic sound links. Now, let's get you back to the action. So you head northeast, I assume.
Yep.
You don't immediately deviate.
We're gonna head southwest.
Thanks for the
Objectively the
advice, which
wrong
we are
direction.
not going to take.
Twitch the ladder, just fucking okay. Screw you too, I guess. Fuck my advice, whatever.
So we head off in the direction that she indicated.
And as she says, I mean, you head off north and go ahead and make perception checks.
Dun.
What is hold on.
It'd be on your next page. over.
Passive, whatever the hell my passive is.
Somewhere near the bottom.
20 total, dirty 20.
10.
That's
Damn.
a passive.
I got a natural 20, 24.
Nice.
I got a 2.
Perfectly waste of a natural 20.
I also got a 2.
Well, I actually rolled a 3, but I have a negative 1. So.
I got a 2 plus 0.
I rolled the wrong one. I
So
wanted to roll that
passive.
one. It wouldn't have mattered. Anyway.
I got him. So fittingly, Elliot and less fittingly, James turn back to get one more look at the Eladrin. And right as you guys cross into the tree line and leave the fairy circle, the glade flickers out of sight.
Like cloaks itself almost?
The Eladrin, the Fey folk, the spring vacate.
Just like blinks out.
They're gone. You see the opening of the mine, and if you watch closely, you see the mine's opening begin to seal.
Oh, fast workers.
About an hour down the road, you do feel a
Huh. Emery, was that you? You popping off again?
No, you would have felt that a lot more strongly.
Fair.
If that was me.
Felt what, huh?
Oh.
I just assume I failed that perception check too.
Yeah, there's a thump.
to allow Elliot to do something he's quite good at in his favorite terrain. Let's get a survival or nature check to see if you can
Follow that trail.
the admittedly scant directions that were provided.
23.
Yeah. So you have no problem. It does take almost exactly a half day's travel. So you're getting there right as the sun's falling. You find the trail. It's as described. It's a well-worn jeeping trail. There's 2 ruts, but it's very obviously this used to be traveled.
Mhm.
It was just never a maintained dirt road.
Got it.
But you do find this just as it's starting to get dark. If you want to, there's a spot you can make camp here, or you can try to push.
She said it was going to take 2 days. I don't see any reason to push in the dark and risk running into trouble.
Yeah. Agreed.
Should we look for a nice clearing or something like that to make
Sure.
camp?
So you said there was
Yeah.
a good spot to camp.
There's
We'll
a
set up
you
camp.
can camp up easy. If there's anything in particular anybody wants to do, we can go through the night watch, or if we just want to breeze through, we can breeze through.
I'm going to practice with my longsword, but it failed miserably because I am not the strong.
Does Ulnok need to make a nightmare check for spiders?
I think
Actually, we
we
should.
all
That
might be a
need to
good
make
idea.
a nightmare check.
At minimum, the 2 arachnophobes.
What is that?
That was a charisma, I believe.
Charisma save?
Yes.
13.
15.
All right, you both sleep through the night. You have bad dreams, but you're not
Right.
exhausted.
I'm not waking up every 5 minutes freaking out and sweating.
Exactly.
Apparently, part of Mel's high charisma is that she has 0 imagination for some
Yeah.
reason. Because that's the only way
she
I
does
can
not
think
have
of.
super vivid dreams.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of that would allow her to sleep through all this shit.
Mel is very good at compartmentalization. I feel like.
Yep.
Like
And
she
I-
just
She
like,
does hide her emotions
I don't
quite
like
well.
this. Let's not feel that.
Pretty much. I think
Let's not
that's how
forget
Mel does
that,
that.
Put that in a box.
That's an icky vibe. I don't want it.
Let's not forget that Mel was the first one to kill somebody in the group.
And Mel
She
had
didn't celebrate
not
when she
dealt-
did it, though.
Well,
No, she did
that-
not break out in a song.
Mel put that in the things that people don't do, therefore it could not have happened box. Shut that up with some duct tape and put it on the top shelf for later.
Right next to that Drider.
The Driders has gotten a new box along with undead and creepy things that go bump in the night.
Yep.
You need a bunch of boxes. That way, if you accidentally open one, you don't get everything.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you cannot put all that shit in one box. When you open that box, you'll just be annihilated.
It's a closet full of Pandora's boxes.
There's 15 Pandora's boxes in her mind. That's not
That's
good.
healthy.
And the box holding up the entire stack is the childhood trauma.
There's no way this could go badly. All right.
All right.
It's
so
a big box.
just to get through the travel, nights in particular, let's have another round of perception checks just to see if you see anything cool.
Shit. Hold on.
Passive.
I
I'm gonna go
rolled a
passive.
20,
That's another
so
really good
that's
one.
a 19.
That's a 22.
I rolled
My
a
dice have been
2,
on
but
fire.
We're gonna go with a 9.
Got an
'cause that's
18
my
plus
passive.
4.
So in the middle of your watch at night, the 2 of you who rolled high hear At first, you just hear what sounds like cracking sticks,
Yeah, shit.
breaking fairly high. And in the light of the fire, you're pretty sure you see a fairly large silhouette kind of watching at you. Kind of hear, and then it just trundles away.
What
the
is that
fuck
word?
was that?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
The next morning, if either of you care to look,
Yeah, I'll definitely look.
let's have a investigation from your twos.
I do not care to look.
More
Ignorance
nightmares.
makes me happy.
First, I would like to inform the group that there was a thing that was watching camp.
And I will back him up by saying, yes, I heard said thing too. It's a good thing we don't know what that was.
I'm going to use the minor illusion to kind of replicate the sounds that it made. To
Sounds like
Stop that. Cut that out.
sounds exactly like that.
Don't do that.
Anyway,
I don't
investigation
like
check.
thinking about things watching us while we're sleeping.
Great roll. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I got an 8.
you find some broken sticks near camp.
Guys, I found some sticks. They're
Against
broken.
my better judgment, I'll look.
Okay.
Five.
killing
I do find some broken
Hey,
sticks.
hey,
you find
um,
some trees near camp.
Hey guys, did you know we camped in a stand of trees?
hey, Elliot, resident survivalist.
Lick
Do you
those.
want to assist?
I was told by a
Where
wise
did you,
woman that I
did you
could
hear
look at
this
it.
thing up in the top of the trees or down on the ground?
It was described as being oddly high, right? It was like you said it was high that we had snapping.
Yeah, the sticks were breaking high after your shit investigation. You're not sure.
There is around this general
Let's go
direction.
check- Let's go check up higher.
It was over there.
You guys must have just been thinking about Griff last night.
23.
So you find some tufts of hair on some broken branches, probably 8 feet off the ground. And you find a fairly large footprint.
So, this is actually, this would be in Elliot's wheelhouse too. I believe from the stories that, they were told this would be Elliot as well. There's stories about Bigfoot out in these woods. And
Come on.
supposedly
You don't
they
believe
kind of
that.
smell sort of bad. So I want to pull this tuft of hair and I literally want to smell it. Does it smell mildly
Horrifying.
skunky?
A little, not terrible, but
Yeah.
it smells like really bad wet dog,
Oh, that's just Ulnok.
but like really bad.
Look, I haven't showered for a while, but that's not my fault. The thing tried to kill me, the spider guy. And
Yeah.
I did pee a little. I told you guys that.
Well,
Yeah, you screamed it multiple times.
can I make a nature check
Absolutely.
from
Bigfoot, though. I mean, you know,
That's a squatch,
honestly,
bro.
honestly, at this
Nice.
point, the
17
tooth fairy
on
could
a
be real
nature
for
check.
all we know at this
What
point.
what exactly are you?
I'm trying to do. I personally think this is a Sasquatch, but I don't.
You have
Elliot knows a lot of animals and
the
throwing things out.
you know the animals in the region
Mhm.
are nowhere near a
That
minimum
tall.
of 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And you know none of the animals in the region have a foot.
The only thing I could think of is a bear or a Sasquatch at this
And
point.
it's definitely
Definitely.
not bear. You would
Okay,
feel
guys.
comfy saying it's the squatch.
We've got a Bigfoot following us.
Oh,
or
that's
we're
cool.
in
We got a
their
Bigfoot,
area.
but we couldn't have a jackalope that I saw that while back. That's cool. Whatever.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
we
At this
might believe
point
you
in
now.
time,
It's cool.
yeah,
Let's just go with
yeah.
whatever cryptid you think is the one that we want to fucking.
Hey, if
believe
you
in.
see another jackrabbit, we'll believe you this time.
fair,
So-
whatever.
So generally, the rumors I have always heard from the mountain folk that live is that they're typically fairly shy.
Yeah, they don't photograph well.
Yeah, and they
They're
generally
always
stay
blurry.
away from people. I don't think it's something we really need to worry about. But if we run into something that looks like a giant ape,
Maybe don't
don't
mess with
look
it.
don't look it in the eye, and
Where
try to
exactly
just
we were
pretend from any stories you heard about like the actual apes. We don't want to trigger one if we run into one. So I don't think we
don't
need
look
to
at
worry
the I
about
don't pay
it,
your
but
teeth
don't be
like
shooting
Ellis.
at big. Don't be shooting at big shapes in the dark. Okay,
Brunel's
We might
trying not to die.
wanna start a fight. Is my opinion.
Yeah. I can't believe we're discussing how best to approach a Bigfoot.
Well, we're not going to. We need to go. We've got
We
things
need to get
do.
going. Yeah.
So, random thought. Like, do you think all these creatures we had myths about always existed and we just never were sure? Or do you think that they just suddenly popped into existence like a month and a half ago?
Considering we've seen 3 of them in the span of a month when no one could prove they existed
Yep.
for 100 years.
But I've been outside more in the last month than I've been in my entire life. So, like, maybe
That
this is
tracks.
normal. I don't know.
I don't think this is normal.
If Ulnok loses a tooth and Tooth Fairy arrives to take the tooth to leave a quarter,
Are you saying you want to lay a trap for a tooth fairy?
I kind of do.
Yeah, let's.
That
not
might be
do
kinda
that.
fun.
We've got a convent to find, and we need to go.
You know,
We gotta
Jacob
get
could
moving.
lose a tooth. He's that age. If he does, we'll
Fair,
sort
fair,
that
but
out
I'm not
then.
gonna punch Jacob in the face to test
no,
the theory.
I was just that. How could
Jacob, don't pay any attention to these people.
I was just thinking if
Can I-
circumstantially you
Do
lost a
something
teeth?
wrong?
No, no. That's why I said I'm not gonna
They're
punch
just
you in the
being
face.
terrible people.
I'm sorry.
They don't
Jacob.
mean it.
I thought they were.
They
We
do
do.
like you. They're just
He wants to eat
overgrown
at me, you
children
wanna punch me in
themselves.
the face
I
and take my
said-
teeth?
I said I'm not going to punch you in the face.
I assumed that was a given before you said it.
We're not gonna let either of them punch you or eat you. I promise.
On
Ma-
purpose.
Maintain, Ulnok. Maintain.
No, we're not going to let it happen.
Yep.
Period.
We gotta
Ulnok.
get to that place and build a cage.
Or get it
Okay.
removed
Are you
permanently.
gonna still teach me the karates?
Absolutely.
Yes,
100%.
I will
You
absolutely.
want to eat it?
No, I'll teach you the Muay Thais, and you can unblock people. You gotta jump up with the knee and the elbow, and you gotta mash their face right in between the tubes. Bam!
I'm gonna keep
Jump up.
teaching
Get in there.
Jacob the more regular karate for now, and
He needs to learn the advanced techniques if he's gonna be
You
effective.
should teach him MMA so he can fight back.
I don't know MMA,
Yeah, we
but
need to.
I know self-defense.
We need to ride.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can discuss it on the
Right.
trip.
Yep.
We gotta
100%.
ride.
All right. Who wants coffee?
I would love some
Always.
coffee.
To go, please.
Nobody knows the Sasquatch mating call, correct?
This is Sasquatch
No.
meeting. I don't feel like that should be
Nope, that's
used
fine.
ever.
We don't want to use that because what if it works? That's not good for anyone. So
Considering we now believe that Bigfoot is real, we should not, under any circumstances.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm dying to know what that is, but it's fine.
I don't know it. I would just wanted to make sure that nobody else knew it because I don't have a plan if a Sasquatch comes running out with a raging boner. I don't know what to do about
Okay,
that.
I don't know where we just got. I'm getting on my horse and I'm heading off up this trail.
So you're riding through the woods whilst this conversation occurs.
Yes.
Your second day's travel, it's
Oh.
a very easy to follow trail. It's very well worn. You do crest a small hill and you see a valley spread out before you. At the very end of which there is a picturesque mountain range that does not look unlike the mountain range on a Coors can. It's very, very pretty. Very tall, very jagged peaks with fresh snow, very white capped at the very top of these mountains. The valley you're in now is filled with fresh grasses. Wildflowers are starting to bloom. Very, 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 very pretty. And the trail you're following cuts straight down the dead center of this valley. There is a decent flowing creek that runs alongside the road. Some of the cleanest, freshest water you've ever seen, fresh mountain melt off. And you follow this for a good probably 3-4 hours. Just winding through. There's all the hama fresh insects. It's very cliche, beautiful spring valley. And you can see off towards the horizon, you can see the road bend and start towards one of the mountains off to your east, your right, as you're heading
You know, if this wasn't the apocalypse, this would be a great vacation spot.
Great. It's beautiful.
As you're traveling, you do see some small, ancient log cabins, very homestead style. You pass the occasional remnants of a old fence line, but you never actually encounter anything that makes it seem as though people are actively farming or actively ranching on this land. It feels very ancient, almost very vacated. You get the feeling that there, despite the well-worn tire treads, no one's spent any time here.
It's kind of ghost towny.
Kinda.
Okay.
And you know, not a lot of people have seen this valley. You're one of 0.00001% of the Colorado population that's seen this valley. You're in the middle of flipping nowhere. But you follow this trail. You start to exit the valley. You start to make your way up. As you get closer to the edge to start going up, you do see some waterfalls off in the distance. There's a couple of gorgeous red clay mountains nearby with the waterfalls going down on fresh budding aspen trees. Gorgeous environment. And at the way off distance, you see the starts of a building. You can just barely see a roof line cresting over the tops of the trees.
Is it white?
The trees around it are, yes.
And you can lick them.
I forgot about that joke.
We've been referencing it every week since that session.
Once you start going up, the going is a little slower. There's a lot of switchbacks. It's a fairly steep, this is very rugged terrain. This is the kind of stuff you need one of those lifted off-road Jeeps to get anywhere near here. And it's one of those that you know in the before time, there are absolutely YouTube videos of Jeeps just bouncing off of these trails, being shredded.
Glad the horses are in good shape for this.
Yeah.
Got those all-terrain hooves.
Yeah. You make it up to the convent nearing nightfall. It's not dark yet, but it's getting quite close. You can see behind you the sun setting. It is just one of the more stunning sunsets you've seen. This air probably never really suffered pollution. You're not near friggin' anything. As the sun starts to set, it casts to deep oranges and purples, and it's absolutely stunning. And it paints this convent in a interesting light. It almost makes it look as though the roof of it is trying to catch fire with just the violence of the orange. And it is an impressive structure. The path that you were leading leads you directly to the front door, which is interesting because you don't see anywhere that a Jeep would turn around.
Okay.
You don't see, there's no parking lot. And the door is not a Jeep-sized door, it's a people-sized door that this goes up to. The cathedral, or the convent itself that you're approaching, is a very Gothic style, damn near castle would be a better description. You have 3-story tall rock walls stretching out on either side, ending in towers. The more circular towers on the end. Parapets maybe is the word.
That's the name for the walkway on the top of the wall.
Gotcha. It has one of those. There's a parapet on the top of the wall then.
About, could we tell how old this building is? Does it look like
it
how
looks
worn
like
is
it's
it?
been here forever,
But yeah,
but it can't have been, right?
I mean,
Why
unless
would
a
it be
Jeep
here out
drove
in the middle
through
of
it.
nowhere.
No.
Do you want to make fresh investigation checks?
Yes, please. As opposed to stale investigation checks.
12.
11.
Ooh!
It's
No, that's not great. 13. Sorry,
14.
I forgot.
Best as you guys can tell, it's a very old building. It is nestled right into the mountain quite cozily.
I think we're still in Colorado, or did we just like hike into a Swiss Alps or something?
I don't think we've changed continents.
Who can tell anymore?
Fair.
On the front of the door, you see a very oak or some sort of heavy wood with reinforced iron bandings on it. Very cliche castle front door kind of vibe. And on the fronts of it are knockers. The knockers themselves are hands out, stretched as if receiving an offering, almost. Not unlike how the Eladrin herself held the sword you passed to her earlier, palms facing the sky, parallel to each other as if receiving an offering. And the rings of the knocker are nestled right along the knuckles, hanging down below.
Who wants to knock?
I will. We're all not
I'll knock one if you want to knock one.
Okay.
Yeah. I want the right one.
I'll take the left one then.
Nice.
And Mel immediately goes for the right one.
No! Whatever. Just knock the thing.
Shortly after knocking, you hear a fairly heavy latch being unlatched from inside the door with a fairly thick thunk. And the door opens up, and you see a woman dressed in black from head to toe. She feels very nun-like. There is very, very little skin visible. She is wearing, she has a head covering, kind of like a nun has the hood. Unlike a traditional cliche, what's that? Whoopi Goldberg movie?
Sister Act.
Unlike the Sister Act nuns, where it's like starched.
Wimple is the word you're looking for.
Wimple. Unlike their wimples that are starched and very stiff. This one appears to be made out of more like silk almost. It's a softer material, and it's not, it kind of drapes more to the skin. It's not standing firm. Much like a nun, she does have the high-necked bit that covers the hair as well under the hood. You can make that out. And also, unlike a cliche Sister Act nun's outfit, there's no white detailing. It is a jet black.
All the way through. Okay.
Yes. But other than those small details, this is obviously a nun. And she answers the door and says, "Oh, you poor weary travelers, how may we be of assistance to you?"
We've been told that you might be able to assist us with a unusual problem, a curse, you might say.
Something is weighing heavy upon your souls, is it?
No, actually, it's not me. It's him. He's actually the problem on this one.
Yeah, weirdly
Well, I
enough, it's
wasn't
him.
intending to place any accusations.
Oddly strange specification, but all right.
We're all the Lord's children. We can all benefit from a little saving grace now and again.
Oh, it's
Sorry, I get that a lot.
kind of more of a literal curse,
Yeah, like literally.
like bit by a werewolf kind of curse.
Can I do an insight check? Does she react at all to us mentioning werewolf? Like, does that sound like unexpected to her?
Good roll.
Because I'm still trying to figure out if these people are from our world or the other one.
Well, we were given the impression that they
Yeah.
wouldn't think they would think we were crazy, so I'm just
17.
going for it.
17. She's not shocked by this. She doesn't look at you guys as if you've got another head growing out of your shoulders or something, you know. She is fairly poker faced.
Okay.
Now you're quite far from any towns nearby. You must have undertaken quite the trip to get here. Please come in. We're all the Lord's followers, and we would like nothing more than to help alleviate your burdens.
Do you have a place for the Lord's horses?
We do have a place for the Lord's horses, but yours can. We have a stable. I will grab one of the. I will send someone to fetch one of the monks, and they will stable your horses.
Elliot, we don't have Lord's horses. That sounds like we have just horses. They're different.
Yeah, I didn't steal them from the Lord. He let me have them. By the way, my companions are extraordinarily rude. My name's Elliot Brandybane.
Oh,
and
yeah, hi,
this is
sorry.
Emery. The tall gal is Emery, and this is Mel Kelly, and that's Mr. James O'Brien and Mr. Ulnok Johnson. And thank you for allowing us to come in. And sister, what is your name?
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Mr. Brandybane. My name is Sister Aether.
Thank you. Pleased to meet you. And thank you for taking us in. It hasn't been a terribly arduous journey, but it's been a little bit long.
I'm glad. It is getting near nightfall. I'm afraid there won't be much we can do for you tonight. But we can get you to some safe and warm, comfortable quarters. Get a little food in your belly.
That'd be wonderfully
Appreciate
appreciated.
It would.
We are on a little bit of a time constraint with our friend.
The werewolf one.
Yes,
that would be me.
We have been informed that we only have a few days to.
Had a few days. That was, 2 days ago?
That would
Yeah,
make
we
sense. We are
We've
nearing.
only got like 1 or 2 more days till the full moon.
We are nearing the full moon.
Yes.
That makes sense. We'll assume that your brusqueness is just the beast within. Is that the assumption I can make here?
You could, but you would be
you'd
incorrect.
Incorrect. I'm just
He
kind of
was that way
brash.
before he got
Okay.
bit.
Well,
I'm kind of a dick.
You know what?
Ulnok.
Stick an
have-
elbow in his ribs.
we have not yet entered the Lord's house, so I suppose we might as well get it out of our system while we can, shan't we?
I will do my best.
Please.
I
Elliot
apologize in
will dip his
advance for my
fingers in
friend.
El
who's-
Genuine.
I mean no disrespect if that makes any difference whatsoever. I'm sure it doesn't, but
I believe that you did not intend this. Yes. Please let us get you to some quarters. And she leads you inside. It's pretty dark in here. They have candles trying to light the halls, but this is a stone hallway, a cobbled stone hallway. So there's nothing to reflect the light in here. There's no polished surfaces, so it's pretty dark in here. You can see that there are very obviously portraits on the wall, but even here, you're in the mountains now. Sunset's pretty fast. It does not take long. So it's already getting dark enough that you can tell there's pictures in frames. You can't really make it out. There's kind of like some dudes on the walls. You can't see any real detailing. They have very obvious banners periodically throughout the hallway, but same thing. It's dark. You can't really make anything out on them. But man, if you didn't know any better, you're in medieval Europe.
okay.
But she leads you to the end of the hall where there is a small stairway takes you up to the second floor. And as she's walking, she says, this will be a little irregular. Typically, we have separate living quarters for the men and the women. But due to your late arrival, I'm sure the High Matron and Patron would be forgiving of us allowing you to share quarters tonight, to disturb as few as possible. Most of us are doing our own genuflection and our nighttime prayers to prepare ourselves for sleep. You do pass a couple of nuns on their way about the hall. Sister Aether does stop one and kind of whispers in her ear, yes, sister. And she hurries off, very on purpose, but hurries off down the distance. You can safely assume she's going to get a moment to stay with her horses. And Sister Aether brings you to a nice room. You open it up, and it's actually kind of ensuite style. So you have a small living quarter, a small living room quarter. You do see more or less a restroom, a washroom, with there's a fairly large wash basin with a hand pump on it, and there is an actual toilet in there. And branching off, there are 4 separate doors that open up into rooms. Fresh linens in them, well made, very, very plain. There's not much in here of extravagance, but it's clean, it's warm. And Sister Aether, she does not enter the room with you. She lets you guys go in, stays at the door. It just says, your horses will be tended to. They will be safely stabled. We will have your things brought up in the morning when more of the monks are awake and able to help carry your burdens up here.
Oh, we're happy to carry our own.
We would not have you labor in our midst when we can share the burden for you.
Okay. Thank you.
And I will alert's the wrong word, that might be a bit extreme. I will inform the High Patron and the High Matron of your presence, and we will have you join us for breakfast in the morning, where we can better discuss your unique situation.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
If there is anything you need at all, we do. She gestures to a pull cord. This does signal down to the cook room. There will be food up shortly, though it may not be the warmest. We ate a little while ago. We don't exactly have a room service normally. But if you have anything of extreme need, that should wake someone. But I think you will find that these lodgings are more than comfortable for the night.
Absolutely. We've
They
been
look
sleeping
big.
outside, so
We appreciate
It's
it.
still-
Thank you.
Absolutely. We're all the Lord's children. We're all under protection in this house, and the Lord's house. I wish you a good evening. We will see you in the morning.
Can I ask a stupid question?
There are no stupid questions here.
You haven't met me.
Don't challenge her. There absolutely may be.
Which lord?
What do
You were
mean,
right.
my dear?
That was indeed a stupid question.
Well, never mind. It's fine.
this is the Church of God and Jesus. Yes.
Huh?
believe- I
See,
believe
that was
a
not
question,
a
but
stupid
it wasn't.
question.
An obvious question.
Are we
This is a house of the Lord's. Yes.
okay? Thank you.
Lord's plural.
It did
I feel
specify
like-
God and
like
Jesus.
All the lords.
The
you
travel
know-
has gotten to us. If you'll excuse
It-
my patriots.
It's
You know,
all
I
the
did.
lords,
I
Mel.
did burst into flame when we came in, so,
So that's a good
plus,
sign.
right?
Didn't
Hey,
in the
neither
last
did
church
I.
we
It's a
entered.
church of all the lords, all of them.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure,
Yeah.
cool.
Anywho,
if I was reading
thank
the
you.
room
I feel like we have kept you. Thank you.
But we appreciate your hospitality.
I am mildly surprised that the brashest one is picking up on this, but yes, it is a house of the Lord's.
I can be good
We will-
sometimes.
Oh, what is that?
We will have you join us for breakfast in the morning, and if you should,
Just curious.
All of them. All the lords, all of them. Including
many
yours,
are
maybe.
there?
I'm gonna like.
All of
You know what? I'm gonna use Mage Hand Invisible to melt over the back of the head.
Sister Aether looks at you.
It was invisible.
Mhm.
Oh dear. I don't say that out
We
loud.
were just trying to
Thank
alleviate
you.
the situation.
We're
My apologies.
gonna settle in, and we'll see you in the morning.
Sleep well. And she closes the door behind her.
So yeah, all of them, including the creepy black ones with oogly eyes.
You don't express
Apparently,
doubt
she
to
said
their
all
face.
of the lords.
I
when I said all
wasn't
of them.
expressing doubt. I was just curious to know what denomination. I wasn't expecting it to be Eldritch, whatever the hell that means.
You.
Also, we
All
should
of 'em.
maybe not use magic here.
Yeah, she looked like she understood what I just did.
Well, it was rude.
You were asking stupid questions.
She is still.
I
concussed
asked if I
also,
could
and we
ask
should
a
maybe
stupid
not
question,
bring
and
that
she
up.
said I could.
I just want to
Now,
point
whether
that
or not
out.
you should have asked it, you were allowed to. However, it was a bad idea.
This is also medically unacceptable.
Medically bad. Don't hit the concussed person in the head, please.
Her eyes didn't pop out her skull.
That
Why did
doesn't
Mel
mean
get concussed
anything.
again?
It's only been like 2 days.
Those don't,
So
those don't just go away.
But it's not. Well,
Concussions
depends on how
time.
bad the concussion was.
She was
she was knocked
Role
stone
playing
cold out,
pretty
right?
fucking loopies.
Yeah, so she's probably still a little fucked up. Yeah, you're right.
Sorry.
I didn't do hit point damage. You're fine.
Okay. Yep.
If anything, I
Got
just
it.
knocked out the other cobwebs out your hair.
Ew.
So you do find that the sleeping quarters have a couple beds extra. There's 2 beds per room, but there's 4 rooms. So you guys can hunker down however you would like. Is there anything particular this evening you would like to do before
Watches.
the morning?
We're totally setting watches.
Absolutely. I don't trust this.
I'm also
Bathing.
checking this place for secret entrances and exits, because that's a thing.
Right? Did anyone else find it odd that we couldn't carry our own things?
I'm
That
just
concerns me
excited
slightly.
that
that
I
concerns me.
have access
Did they say
to an
anything
actual toilet.
about our weaponry?
No.
So we still have our weaponry.
No.
But I'm still
I'm carrying a great axe. That's a great thing to carry in a church. Anyway.
literally. But I'm definitely checking this room for any kind of exits.
Okay. What's our watch order?
I'll take first.
Elliot's third.
I'm good with my normal morning watch.
I'll take second if you want to take a night off, James.
Okay. Or I can double up if y'all are.
That's fair. That might not be a terrible idea with me
If you
might
want to.
being wolfing out. Hopefully I
Yeah,
don't.
I will take a watch with Ulnok to make sure that he doesn't decide to
That's a good plan.
have a midnight snack.
Nope. We were told.
Enough with the eat the child.
He's not listening, probably.
When we were
He's
told when
right
the full
there.
moon was, it was 4 to 5 days, so you might turn into a wolf on Cinco de Mayo.
Sweet. I'm gonna get
Well,
ripped.
that's a great way to celebrate.
Werewolf.
Is anybody else picturing a werewolf with maracas?
And a
I was
sombrero?
thinking, you know,
I
exactly
got the
that.
sombrero with
Yep.
the little dangly
Yep.
balls.
Yep.
Alrighty. So let's Emery.
Yes. Cool. Perception check?
Sure.
Okay.
What are you wanting to do?
I'm fixing all my clothes so they're the right size.
How are you making them longer?
I think I've sacrificed like one shirt or something, and I'm just like elongating the hem of my pants and like stitching it onto the bottom of my other shirts. This is stuff I have done personally to make my pants longer,
Okay.
out of character.
All right.
This is a problem I have consistently.
Honestly, I think we need to combine forces. I'll cut the extra bits off of my clothes and give them to you to add onto yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception
My
check.
perception would be my passive.
Okay.
I have rolled absolute garbage the last 3 times I rolled perception.
It's been pretty rough. So yeah, you are able to put some work into your clothing being more appropriately lengthened.
Cool. I'm sure I don't notice jack shit because I rolled terribly.
And none of you have a particularly awe-inspiring passive.
No. No,
We're not
mine's 10.
Yeah.
It's not
It's not
great.
the worst,
I know.
but it's not good.
We're not a wise group.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably impressively quiet in here because it is thick stone walls everywhere. There's not an ounce of drywall in here. This is all heavy stone. So, I mean, the sounds you do hear would be fairly echoey in the room you're in.
Mm-hmm.
There's not like carpeting and stuff in here. It's pretty sparse. So the room you're in would be fairly bright and loud, but you're not going to hear even Ulnok snoring next door when you shut the door is muffled significantly.
Yeah. I think Emery is totally unnerved by this place in a lot of ways.
You do see what I will give you. At the edge of, we'll say that you have a fairly long living room, and that the rooms are on the edges, the sides, parallel each other.
Mm-hmm.
At the end, opposite the door, there's a window. At some point, I'm assuming you go to the window and you look out. But what you do see from your window that you couldn't really see outside because you were just approaching a 3-story tall wall, effectively, you're able to see that the building you're in is, donuts are the theme of tonight. This one's a square donut. So you have a 3-story tall square donut with a standalone 4 or 5-story tall cathedral in the center. So you are looking out at the front of a fairly impressive, very Gothic style cathedral. All sorts of excessive decoration on just about every possible inch of this building. Spinnerets and all the things. There's some gargoyles, there's some grotesques. You can tell it's stained glass. It's dark, so you can't tell what it's a picture of. But a very elaborate cathedral. And you can tell that there's, I don't know, maybe 50 yards from your window to the front door. But I'll give you that for free.
Yeah, there's no one moving around or anything.
There's you can see the occasional lamp, LED individual. You hear when you go up to the window, you do hear some animal noises. You can tell that there is livestock quarters. You can't see them. You can kind of hear when you get right up on the window.
Cool.
You do see. You wouldn't. They'd have to take them around, so you don't see anybody leading your horses. But you didn't see anywhere for the horses to get through.
Yeah.
But you do see the occasional nun and the occasional what you assume to be a monk.
Really creepy because they're all wearing robes
And they're all wearing black. They're
and
all
carrying
covered.
lanterns in the dark.
So it would look not unlike a lot of Grim Reapers.
Yeah. I don't think she spends long standing at the window.
And when I say a lot, I mean for the duration of your watch.
Yeah.
You see like 4.
Yeah.
Like it's not a lot, but they do have a eeriness to them. None of them, you don't see anybody just kind of like cruising and chilling. They're all walking with purpose and intent. And you see the majority of them at the start of your watch. You don't really see
they drop off
anybody for the
after.
last hour.
Fair. It's getting late. Cool. I think Ulnok was second watch.
Yeah, Ulnok and James.
Cool.
Damn it.
Which I feel safe assuming you're sharing a watch, you shared a room too.
Sure.
They're definitely not sharing a room with Jacob because he's scared of them now.
Yeah.
So he's probably sharing with Elliot.
Why is he scared of me? Oh, right, because I talked about punching him in the face.
And I talked about eating him.
I'm going to go knock on their door. It's alarmingly loud in how quiet of a room it is.
You hear something heavy being moved out of the way, and it's like door creaks open. Oh, it's you. Hey,
It's your watch, guys.
cool.
It's,
Actually, despite the age of this building, you don't have the hinges creak at all.
Oh.
They're very well.
I made the sound for nothing.
Right. We're
So
I just wanted to make
whoosh.
a sound. It felt wrong not to.
That is one thing you're noticing. Everything you touch is of superb quality.
well maintained.
Yes, very diligently maintained.
Oiled.
Nothing happened on my watch, but I don't like this place.
Do you?
I don't like the vibe here.
Nothing significant.
Mm-mm. If you look out the window, there's a cathedral.
Ooh.
But yeah. Anyway, good night.
Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the. Never mind.
Spider dogs. Bite.
I'm not thinking about those. Thank you.
That's
I
why
was.
I didn't say it, and I closed the door.
You close the door to your room? You're in your room? Or do you go out in the living room?
Leave the room and close the door.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
We're gonna go watch. We're gonna
Fuck
do the
you,
watching.
I'm not doing a watch now.
I will be out momentarily.
All right, what do you two doing?
Finished my
I am
toilet.
investigating the room.
All right, roll investigation.
Cool.
Specifically looking for
Entrances, exits, other ways to get in, spooky like peepee holes.
okay.
Peeping holes. Sorry.
You do
That
find
sounded kinda
I'll give
dirty.
you find the pee hole for free. It's in the bathroom. It's right
Peeping.
next to the wash basin.
Peeping. Sorry.
Peeping hole.
That's not exactly better.
Anyway, like holes in pictures for like the eyes. Anyway. Investigation.
The Scooby-Doo fucking.
That's exactly it. That is a 23.
23. All right.
23s tonight.
Describe exactly how you're moving about the room.
Probably just running my hands along the walls, looking underneath tables if there's tables, looking like if there's any furniture and whatnot, just like looking around, checking like the ceiling, checking behind pictures if there's pictures on the wall. I
So as you're
am
checking-
turning down this room.
As you're checking pictures, you do find that they're not hung on the wall. They are secured to the wall.
Ah,
So you're not able to, they're not like a cliche picture that's got the nice little picture wire on the back that you hang it on. They are
Uh-huh.
fixed
Fixed.
to the wall. And as you're looking over one of them, the eyes do follow you.
I'm gonna go back and forth, up, down.
They're watching you.
I'll knock.
Not extraordinarily unusual for this type of building. Actually,
Ah.
we used to make paintings like that would follow you through the room, and it's terrifying and creepy. But I saw one at the Vatican.
It's true. It's a way of painting, so
They're
that the way
trippy as hell.
the way the shadows fall, it looks like the eyes are following.
I'll
you.
knock. I hate to sound like a cliche, but this picture's looking at me.
I'm gonna roll a perception to see if I notice.
Well, you'll notice because he told you. You can
Okay.
investigate it if you want to learn more.
Just kind of, I don't know. I want to investigate.
Go for it.
So I
Can
think
I-
it's a -1
I mean,
again.
they're confidently following you.
Okay, can I like knock on the picture to see if it
Mhm.
like? So does like what kind of sound does it make? Like a hard rapping sound?
You're not hitting canvas. You feel canvas, but there is something directly behind the canvas.
I rolled
It
a
is
10.
not stone.
It's fine. I didn't see shit. Other than it's following me.
And when you knock, the eyes back up.
That's weird as fuck.
Okay, that's fun.
What else are you doing as you got a 23? What else are you doing while you're investigating?
I was probably like running my hands against the walls, seeing if there's any like any kind of indent that would push in, checking for like airflow on the wall that's unnatural.
You are confident that you don't find any hidden entrances. The only entrance to this room is the one you came through.
Okay, no secret tunnels.
Secret tunnel.
Exactly.
That reminds me of a song.
And I'll
Right.
check the ground and whatnot as well for
The ground
anything
is
similar.
as firm as it's cobbled everywhere.
Okay.
There's not like a couch, but
Mm.
there's a couch-sized like bench in the room. There's none of the furniture in the living area specifically is anything that you could really hide anything behind.
Gotcha.
And you know from the time you spent in your room, there is a modest bureau
Mm.
and a chest of drawers, and the beds are very simple. Like there's a very, very simple wooden bed frame with a mattress on it.
Right.
So there's not a lot of hiding behind furniture that can be done.
Mm. Gotcha.
Anything else you're wanting to look at?
I can't think of anything. I pretty much covered my bases for like ways for people to get like a surprise attack.
Yeah, the only entrance, the painting's scary. When the eyes backed up, there's holes where they should have been. But the only entrance to this room is the door, the front, the door.
Gotcha.
And I'll even assume that you've extended this into your sleeping
Yeah, I was
quarters.
just about to say that as well.
And there's no sign of a sneak passage in the sleeping quarters either.
Okay.
Without running the risk of waking everybody else up, you can't investigate theirs.
Yeah.
But you do know before everybody went to bed, the sleeping quarters were all pretty much identical.
Gotcha. I can't like go into the room and like toss the mattress. Like,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Take a move.
I mean, you could, but
You will get stabbed.
And that's coming from the non-murderous one.
While he
Henry's
is,
tired.
I'm assuming you're also, with a 23, you're doing this in a fashion that's gentle.
Yeah.
Like we joke, but you're not actually flipping the furniture. You're being
No,
very
I'm
discreet.
very, yeah. And I'm putting things back exactly the way I found it. And
You are confident that if somebody were to follow behind you, they'd have no clue that you did that.
Mhm.
You're also noticing, again, just to reinforce how well maintained this is, there is not an ounce of dust.
Mm.
This is an immaculate room.
And that picture, real quick, there was no like hinges or anything that like if I push, try to push on that picture
Correct.
at
Yeah,
all,
it doesn't
nothing
budge.
gives.
Fixed to
Okay.
the wall.
While he is thoroughly investigating the room, what is Ulnok doing?
Ulnok is trying to walk the perimeter and just see if he can feel for anything unusual, like anything that just kind of raises an alarm
Okay.
in his head. So I guess that would be another perception check.
Yeah, we'll have you roll perception for yours. 9. Okay. You, very similar to Miss Emery.
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous view. You're confident during the daytime. It's an awe-inspiring view.
Right.
Because out the window you're in, you would even have the backdrop of the mountains behind it.
Mhm.
Behind that cathedral. It's probably
Doesn't-
stunning.
Yeah, nothing feels unusual though.
But no, not for a 9. With that, I'm not gonna have you roll a perception because you are so fixatedly, actively searching.
Right.
And that will bring Elliot's watch.
And never during any of that time did those eyes come back?
No.
Or, okay, cool. So I'll go up to...
If you double back, what you do see is that the painting's eyes are back.
Ah, gotcha.
The holes are gone.
Different corneas.
Interesting.
All right, well,
You never heard anything though.
silent. Okay, we'll go
I
up
hate
to
that so much.
to Elliot's room, knock on the door.
Yeah.
Hey, it's your watch.
Anything happen?
See that piece of artwork?
Yeah.
It's fixed to the wall, and there was somebody watching us. Like those eyes that you see right there were not the eyes that were watching us. They were full on tracking our movements until I knocked on the painting and the eyes backed off.
Which is
That's
strange.
weird as hell.
Yes.
So nothing else unusual.
Yeah.
Everything
Well, like didn't feel any
oddly feels on
funky.
the up and up.
Yeah.
Did you check the door? Are we locked in here? Can we get out?
I did not check that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Get some sleep.
All right.
So almost immediately, Elliot's going to go ahead and walk up to the door into these rooms. And he's going to, in the tactical world, they call it a soft check. He just wants to see if it's locked.
It is.
And I don't see any way from our side to unlock it.
Correct. There is no keyhole. There is just a knob.
This concerns Elliot.
Weird.
Justifiably so.
And
I thought that'd be comforting. That's why I put it in here.
he's going to go, he's going to go,
Liar.
Roll an insight.
I don't need to.
Elliot wants to pull one of his arrows out of his pack or out of his quiver.
Okay.
And he wants to take the arrow and he wants to gently balance it across the door handle. the purpose of this is if someone else opens the door, he wants the arrow to fall
It'll
down and make a
glitter.
noise.
It's kind of like
Okay.
the same as draping string.
Right. But I want it to make an audible noise that if somebody tries to open the door, I want it to clatter.
Perfect.
That's
Yes.
all
These
I
are
wanna do.
excellently made arrows, so we'll say that was no difficulty.
Okay.
They're
So
consistently balanced.
after he sets that up, he's going to go sit down in the middle of the room. And he's done this in the past. And so he's going to attempt to recreate it. And he's going to sit down quietly and he's going to cast Primeval Awareness using a spell slot.
That's your detect the shit nearby one?
Yes.
Okay.
So because I'm in
Technical
mountains, this gives me within 6 miles. I'm not that interested that far out. I'm more interested here in this building.
Mhm.
And this will give me the presence of aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
They're all dragons.
I don't need a list,
Yeah.
just like, are any of these here and what are within
You do not detect any of those. You hint of green coming out of his room.
Okay.
Or I guess lime. Hint of lime coming out of his
Lime,
room. And I mean,
Fresh.
you get kind of fey-ish pops out on the borders of your perception, but nothing here.
Okay.
A little bit of brown, a little bit of, but nothing nearby.
Okay. That's what I'm going to do for my watch since I can't go outside.
And your primeval awareness, that's a meditative thing?
It's a
Is that how
spell
you
slot.
described it?
It's a spell slot,
Okay. How long does it take?
an action.
Okay. So that immediate, you ping it out there.
I ping it out there.
So the rest of your time, you just, because you got what, 2 hours?
Yeah.
And that was 6 seconds. So you're just listening, observing.
I don't have much else I can do.
Let's
So
have
It's
a
basically going to be sitting very quietly, mostly listening.
let's have a perception.
22.
Cool.
Nat 20.
You hear
Stuff. Great perception check.
That's as good
Well,
as I can do.
that's more stuff than anybody else has heard.
Right?
I hate all of this so much. It is so creepy.
We just fought fucking a giant spider person,
This
and
is
this is what's
worse.
giving us creeps.
This is worse.
All right.
The spider person was just a spider person. This is people like watching us that have locked us into our room.
I don't know. I almost bricked my pants with the spider person, so I was pretty scared.
you do hear muffled. You're pretty positive it's the sound of screaming, pain.
Oh,
That's not ideal.
Most of us listen.
It sounds, it's coming most obviously from the window. You're hearing it when you one of your laps, you hear it kind of, and you press your ear towards the window. You can even actually open this window. It's a small window. Jacob maybe could squeeze through it kind of thing.
Okay.
How high up are we?
Second floor. And it's one of those, like, I've seen them in TikToks that Germany apparently has where they kind of angle, hinge from the top out a little
They're
bit.
called awning windows.
They're awning windows. It's one of them. So it can maybe come out to like a 20-degree angle before the little metal arm in the bottom stops it from going further. And you hear it a bit better when you do that. It does sound as though it's coming vaguely from maybe the cathedral. But it's fairly, even with the window open, it's still fairly muffled. It's not like there's somebody getting murdered in the courtyard.
Okay.
just in the cathedral.
In the basement of the cathedral.
And that brings us to Mel's watch.
Okay. I'll go gently knock on Mel's door.
I actually feel like at this point, with everything that's happened, instead of rising sleepily, Mel like leaps up out of bed. What, huh? Who's killing us now?
No, Mel, quiet.
What?
We're being. It's your watch.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're being observed in this room. He explains what James told him about the paintings.
Okay, creepy pain. Got
I
it.
will tell her that we're locked in.
We're what?
We're locked in. The door won't open.
You fucking what now?
I'm not gonna give her a description because she's jumpy enough as it is. I'll tell her I heard some noises from out the window. Sounded like it came from the cathedral. And I did that thing where there's no fae. I don't think there's any undead around. I think that these are just mostly just people.
So are we. That's not reassuring.
I'm just letting you know. So if something comes up or you need some help, don't hesitate to wake us all up.
No problem. If I need you, I'll just scream.
That will work quite effectively. Thank you.
Should.
Sleep well.
I'm going to try.
I'm glad I'm not sleeping anymore tonight.
If Emery knew any of this, she would not be.
All right.
Oh, and I tell her about the arrow that I placed on the door handle, and I explain to her why it's there and why I did it.
Oh yeah, no, just like setting bells in hotel rooms. Like, I get it.
Well, yeah.
It's a woman thing.
Okay.
Don't ask.
Okay.
I can confirm that because not a single male at the table has any clue what you're talking about.
It's basically setting traps like that on sketchy hotel rooms so that if anyone tries to break in, it wakes you up.
That is very depressing.
I've never
It's not
stayed in
something
a
I've done, but I knew
hotel.
what you meant
Yeah, like
immediately.
I've never stayed in a hotel sketchy enough to where I would actually feel the need to
Fucking
do
I
that.
have.
But I know that they exist, and I know that it's not uncommon for women to do that.
I leave that little like latch thing, so if they open the door a little bit, it stops it, so I can freak out when I hear the slap.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I always close those when I like settle in for the night, and then I always forget I've done it in the morning. So I always do the like bang. Oh fuck that.
Yeah.
That like
And the fun thing about
every
those
time.
is they usually use like little 8-inch tack screws, so they don't really actually secure the door.
No,
They don't.
They do
Yeah,
nice
but you
rely
have
on
to
that.
kick the door. It'll make noise. To
It'll
get
be
one of them
loud.
busted.
It'll make
Yeah.
noises.
But yeah, no,
I'm still getting
it's
murdered,
not.
but
Yeah.
I'll be awake for
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean?
the
Like,
point is, it's not
The deadbolt
uncommon
does way the
that
hell
if
more.
you're in a sketchy situation, you'll essentially set like a glass jar or like a can or something in front of the door. So if anybody did break in, they would trip over it
Knock
and it
that
would make
over.
noise.
Oh, you just home alone the hotel room.
Essentially, yeah.
Just the door.
Just the door. You still want to be able to escape if you have like a fire or something. You just don't want anybody unwanted getting in. Anyway.
All right. Well, on that
So Mel gets
uplifting
it.
note, what does Mel do on her
After
perfectly
having
safe watch?
heard several disturbing pieces of intel, Mel is probably going to pace a little bit and she's intrigued by this whole House of Lords thing and is kind of trying to figure that out in her brain.
makes sense.
I would like to do either an Arcana or a History check to see if I have any kind of anything that I might be able to understand that, either from my current new abilities or
I would
my previous
say
life.
If there's ever been a moment for one, this is a religion check.
No, that's not what I asked for.
She says, I don't want to fucking do that.
I'm not
That's
proficient
wisdom,
in
not
that.
intelligence.
I have History or I have Arcana.
You can give me a history. It'll change the type of information you have access to.
That's fine. The odds of actually making that okay are higher. That is 21.
For a 21 history check, you have absolutely heard houses of worship being referred to as houses of the Lord. You know that historically the Lord does translate to Jesus or God, sometimes yes, because of the Holy Trinity confusing bit that I, as a non-practitioner, don't fully grasp. You've never heard of it referred to as a plural? They're usually more referred to as a singularity between the three of them. So the plurality of the Lord's plural is odd.
Does she think there's any likelihood that, like, by lords, plural, like, maybe there could be something going on from this other dimension that, like, is there any chance that, like, they actually worship, like, creatures similar to the one that is her patron? Like, or like,
The old gods?
kind
I'm
of?
going to say just because you rolled real high on that, we'll say that you know that polytheism is a concept for sure. You know, you're aware of polytheistic religions.
Mm-hmm.
You know that nuns do not typically subscribe to a polytheistic religion. All of the architecture and everything you've seen lines up with typically the Catholic faith. Architecturally, this strikes you as an old Catholic church from Europe.
Okay, so essentially I'm still confused.
Yes.
Um,
You have nothing to draw on that makes this make 100% sense.
okay. At some point when that line of thinking starts to bore her, could I try making a perception check to see if I hear any more muffled noises that Elliot didn't tell me about?
Yes. I think that makes absolute sense that you would be actively percepting.
I
Ooh,
eat jumpy as
that's
fuck.
a 14.
14? We'll say for your...
For me, that's fantastic.
You're drawn to the window at some point. What you do see is a couple of... You're able to assume they're monks. You saw the nun's wardrobe. This is different. It's still cloaked. They're just kind of beefier, burlier than the nun was. She was fairly slight. So you see two monks, one of which has a lantern in one hand, and there is a nun between them. They appear to be helping her back into the sleeping quarters on the side that you are in. So they're helping her kind of into your part of the building. Again, you're on the second floor, so they're down below you, but...
That's weird.
Helping her as in, like, supporting her, like she's struggling on her own, or just, like,
Yes.
walking with her?
Yeah. They have each got one arm under her arm, kind of helping her back in. It doesn't appear hurried, and it doesn't appear, nothing you're seeing would strike you as, because you haven't heard the screaming, this doesn't strike you as malicious. You could see this being something that friends would help somebody back. She's not struggling against them or anything along those lines.
Okay. At some point, Mal will go back over and stare at the painting as if daring it to stare back at her.
And the painting does not appear to be interested in a staring contest at this time.
Okay.
The painting wins the staring contest.
At some point, she'll get bored with that too and go sit down on the not couch. I don't know. She might try some yoga for old time's sake, but I feel like her heart's just not in it anymore.
About partway through, right as the sun's starting to rise, Jacob comes out and joins you.
Guess we gotta keep stretched if we're gonna keep riding horses.
And as the sun rises, you get a view of just an absolutely gorgeous sunrise coming through that window, cresting over the top of the mountains that are backdropping the cathedral that's right across, and it is objectively stunning. And
beautiful.
shortly after the sun has fully risen, there is a knock at your door. The main door, the door that leads to the hallway.
I will go up to the door and remove the arrow from
Okay.
the knob and then just politely say, come in, with as if I didn't know I couldn't get out.
Perfect. The door opens. And Sister Aether is there.
Good morning, sister.
Good morning. I hope you slept well. I hope you found that our accommodations were satisfactory.
They were very comfortable.
I'm glad. We're excited. We are looking to start having some guests on a more regular basis. There's a lot of turmoil in the world, and we hope to be able to help as many as we can. So you are our guinea pigs, so to speak.
Wait for that word. I know.
Thank you. I
That is
think,
suspicious as shit.
you know, as honestly, I appreciate your hospitality, and we're very grateful for whatever assistance you can give us with the issue that we are having. But I mean, unfortunately, if we can resolve that, we will most certainly not be staying, as we are on a mission of sorts to improve situations, if at all at our disposal. So it will
We
be
are all
for
the
a short
Lord's
time.
servants. We all have our own work to accomplish. So
Yes.
that is, I understand.
And we absolutely are servants of many lords, separately and together. We will.
That is a unique phrasing.
In her head, she's vividly picturing her patron, who is both separately and together, depending on how angry he is in the conversation. So,
I do not wish to cut this conversation short, but it appears as though most of your compatriots are still sleeping. I will be back in about 30 minutes or so to bring you down for food. I just need to go alert the kitchen staff that we will have a couple more mouths to feed this morning.
okay.
I will be back shortly, and
I will wake everyone up, and we'll be ready when you return.
fantastic. And with that, she closes the door again, and she presumably goes to go tell kitchen staff things.
So I'm gonna wait about a minute. Like, I'm gonna actually stand there and count to a full 60 seconds. And then I'm gonna try to open the door again.
It doesn't open.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You didn't hear any clicking. or
Yeah, I
anything.
didn't think I would. Jacob, would you like to go politely wake up Emery? And I will wake up James and Ulnok.
Thank
Not
you.
so politely. And then we can draw straws on who's brave enough to wake up Elliot.
Miss Emery,
Yep, I'm up.
it's breakfast time.
Breakfast, great,
The nice nun lady said she's gonna go tell him to cook food for us.
cool.
Jacob's too pure for this world.
He's
Cool.
8.
Don't trust her too much, buddy.
I'll go over.
I don't think
and
she was lying about breakfast.
I don't think she's lying about breakfast. I think she might be
Okay.
lying about other things.
I will take your word, ma'am. You're smarter.
I'll go up
I'm not
to.
waking the guys.
No, I go up to James and Ulnok's room, and then I message them from the door.
What else?
Son of a bitch!
Don't do that shit, man.
Good morning!
Oh, that's cruel.
And now she's gotten even for them scaring Jacob.
That's fantastic.
Theater of the Mind is Jeremy Arston as Elliot Brandybane, who's a damn fine fella, I might add. Amanda Arston as Melanie Kelly, who is not nearly as short as we all say she is. Michael Burnell as Ulnok Vaga Johnson. We still don't know what's to with his middle name. Michael Downs as James O'Brien. He's sketchy. Watch him. Casey Warngarten as Emery Lee. She's as tall as she describes herself. And Mike Schock as your dungeon master. He's an alright fella too. We release new episodes every 2 weeks, so our next episode will release on
August 4th.
If you want to follow us, our social media and website can be found on our link tree, which can be found in the podcast description. Also, in the podcast description, you can find a link to Pinecast, as well as our referral codes to get you 40% off your first 4 months of a paid membership, as well as our referral link to Epidemic Sound, which gets you a 1-week trial period to their excellent platform. The music this week was sourced from Epidemic Sounds, who we are not sponsored by under the Creative Commons license. The songs used in order are
Charcoal Blues by Will Harrison. I Can't Sleep instrumental version by Mr. Kent and Ruby Red. Dead Man's Blues by Roy Williams. I Am Better Off acoustic version by Wild Sun. Just Enough by Isabel Walton. Undercurrent by Harper Ray. Broken String Drone, Radioactive Drone, Drone Bass Pulse Low Rumble 02, Mystical Drone, all in the sound effects library. Along the River by King Peaks, Opaque by Heath Cantu, Eerie High Pitch Airy Large, Short Spooky Mid High Pitch, Machine High Pitch Electricity, Musical Scary High Pitched, Drone Reverberant Long, Musical High Pitch Tones and Granulated High Pitch, also from the sound effects library, and Friends Make the Worst Enemies by Xperia.
The Theater of the Mind theme, intermission, and outro were written by Mike Schock. Again, a fine fella. Don't know what an outro is. Theater of the Mind is a work of fiction. Names, characters, business, places, events, weather, moon phases, and the tides and incidents are used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. I used to, I hate to admit, when I was running tools, I used to stop and pick up hitchhikers sometimes. Actually, if they weren't hitchhiking, I would usually stop and pick them up. Like I was coming from Bags into Craig.
It's called kidnapping.
I was coming from Bags to Craig, and if you've ever been down that road, it was right at the state line. And there's a dude, and it was in the evening. It was probably about 4 p.m. It was late. And this guy's walking down the road. And I'm like, he ain't going to get nowhere in time before it gets dark.
You're picking up the people that resigned themselves to the fate of walking.
I just pulled over and I just said, hey, bud, you want to ride? And he's like, actually, that watercolor painting, he's the one that gave me that.
Oh.
And I'm like, you want to ride? And he's like,
actually, that would be great.
He's like, yeah. He says, I wasn't hitchhiking. I'm like, I'm not going to, if you don't want to. I says, I've been by myself for like 14 hours and I wouldn't mind somebody to talk to. And he's like, oh, sure. So, well, and then I just, you stink. And he's like, no, I'm doing pretty good right now. Jump in, throw your shit in. And so I bought him supper. We got to rifle and I bought him supper.
Yeah, you see, I've watched too many Forensic Files to ever pick up a hitchhiker.
Watch too many horror movies.
I'm a woman.
Listen
Yeah.
to far
You guys I don't blame at
Automatically
all.
disqualified from ever picking up hitchhikers.
I've thought about it a couple times, and I'm like, you just never know.
Yeah.
The only hitchhiker I ever saw, I almost took out because she was standing in my lane.
Oh.
Like, hey!
That was
I
the woman
will-
in
I mean-
white, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, you might be a hitchhiker. You're 1,000% terrifying. So.